Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 4 minutes past 9 on Sunday night. Back at base after an eventful period of time since I spoke with you last, which was in Derry. And didn't go out the other night. Checked. I didn't know where there was a pub to have a pint. As bad as my thirst was, bottle of water done instead, and a cup of tea that I went downstairs for. There was nothing in the room, but I was told that you could go down and make tea, which I did, and I had a bit of cake with it. But the next morning I went down about 8:10 for the breakfast, so I went into where the dining room was, sat down, waited a couple of minutes, nobody arrived. Made a bit of a noise and nobody arrived. Made a further little tapping with my foot, nobody arrived. So I said I better check out what was going on. So I went in to where the kitchen area was, and everything was there. I must have missed him saying to me that you made your own, whatever you want. But the coffee was there, the tea was there, the cornflakes, fridge with a glass door on it with milk and orange juice, and then bits of ham, cheese, tomatoes, whatever you wanted, scones, toaster with brown and white bread. So it was tricky to get round everything, but we got round it anyway. It wasn't much of a rush because I got a text message to say it would be 12:30 before the people I had with me on the tour would be leaving. And I was saying, geez, this could run into a late night because I had mentioned going to Giant's Causeway. So I didn't arrive back until 1:45. I had the cases in the car at the time. They were staying in Ship Quay Hotel. Good old pull up from the bottom of that hill. I walked down to the bottom. I'd walked it before when I was in Derry the last time with the first yank. We went on to Giant's Causeway, and I heard them saying when the announcement was made that the gates were closing at 5 p.m. that they had to be back by 5. This was only 2:30, but they arrived back about 4:15, and we went the scenic route into Ballycastle for them. That'd be the last view of the sea, and put up in a couple of places and took photos, and then headed south. And you have to go in through Belfast, but Belfast isn't bypassed on your way to Dublin. So along our hall, so we pulled in Dundalk, McGeo's, and we had the dinner. Very nice, but they were rushing it because the new time was against us, and then we were heading to a big sort of a castle house just outside Navan. I forget the name of it, Ballintabber or something. Narrow roads and whatnot. So I got a message when we were pulled up in Slane, because that was his last opportunity to get a 99. Every box was ticked that we had mentioned at the start of the tour, and he went in and machine was turned off. But when he was gone in, I got a call from my base to say was I not staying in the Yellow House in Navan. I said I was, and said, how come you haven't checked in? I said, well, we haven't finished yet for the day. It'll be another 45 minutes. And I got a WhatsApp message 10 minutes later, but I was driving, to say ring this man, as 10 minutes later he would be going to bed. But I didn't get that message for 20 minutes because I was driving, and I rang when I got to the hotel and there was no reply. So I proceeded to head to the Yellow House. I landed, rang the doorbell, knocked on the door, rang the phone number, no answer. He must be gone to bed. So what am I going to do? So I touched base with base, and they said try to get a hotel. Down to the Ardboyne, they were full. Rang their sister hotel, the Newgrange, they were full. Checked booking.com, couldn't get anything at all. There was one in Dublin, I think, on booking.com, but that'd be 40-45 minutes. And I was getting tired. So I went up to the car park of the Ardboyne Hotel and I put back my head and I slept in the car and I woke at about 2 o'clock. And what could I do? Only sleep on. But I was twisting and turning. I couldn't get comfortable at all. But that's where I slept last night on account of that whore. And I woke at a 7:15. Then I had to pick them up to 7:15 and head for the airport to leave them there. They were flying back at 11. So when I got back to Applegreen on the motorway coming home, I rang him and I said, he answered the phone and I said, you answered it now, you wouldn't answer it last night when I had the room booked. He piped up straight away. He says, before you go mouthing off to me, he says, you hadn't the manners to ring me. I said, my boss was on to you. And he said, I said, why didn't you leave out a key? And jeez, he went down my throat altogether. So I attacked a bit then, and the next thing he hung up anyway. But such a whore altogether. Just wanted desperate after sleeping in the car, and he paid for the room as well. But I'm not finished with him. I'm not finished with him at all. I'll tell you. But first Mead man ever I met that wasn't. I don't know what his accent was. He Mead. He sounded sort of Monaghan Mead up that direction. But that's where I slept last night. First time ever I slept in a car. And at my age, it's not good. But anyway, since we're talking to you last, we had a couple with a few runners on Saturday. That's why I had no video last night, because I had no Wi-Fi, and I had a couple picked out for today. We had a good run from Happy Romance. It was fourth. Actually, there was 3 bus horses, second, third and fourth in that race. Significantly nearly won it. And the horse that was third we had backed before. And the one in fourth. Tower of London ran a good race, but finished out of the money in the ledger. Looked like to maybe going to threaten to be second at the 2 furlong pole. Lack of a run was to blame for that. That'll win a race or 2 yet this year. Be interesting to see what they go to Melbourne with it. Ascot Adventure, I'm going to forget about him. Didn't see the race, saw the result written down. But we finished well with Liberty Lane, a 3-year-old. The stats held up. And Sonny Liston, second, by a nose. And I said the other night, I said, if I picked Sonny Liston, Moore will fuck it up. And the other one was the one, and we got, I think it's nearly £24 for the forecast. So, done all right, made a few pound. We'll get on to tomorrow. I have a few picked out. I was tired. I went to bed in the afternoon. I was home about 11:30 today, and I slept for a couple hours in the afternoon. I was looking at this race here. There was a Mayor's Novices Handicap Hurl. Methodtothemagic. It won a race very well. 2 runs back. It was a Mayor's race. And it was an all Mayor. It wasn't novice only. Won it by 10 lengths. And then the last time in Southall, it ran well enough. It got top for toe on the turn for home. But there were the 2 ahead of it were geldings, and the 2 behind it were geldings. So it was a decent run, I thought, to finish where it did. It came from a long way back. It went up £9 for its win.
It's after 3 out from Clean Getaway.
That's it with the light blue hat, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 8.
Park Wedding Stress, Game BR is making ground
cross.
Along with My Gift to You. Wedding Stress is struggling to hold her position as the leaders make the swing back towards home. Carapaz has dropped right out of contention, and On a Roll, who led for a long way, stopped to nothing after being headed and he's tailed off. It's Coconut Twist who leads them on the gallop down to 2 out from Skeeter Park and Bensini, and My Gift to You moving up between rivals. That quartet of a few lengths on Method to the Magic as they run down between the last 2 flights. Coconut Twist now been taken on by My Gift to You. Skeeter Park with every chance on the inside. Method to the Magic next, then the fading Bensini. My Gift to You jump to the front under Harry Cobden at the final flight, and now starts to clear away from Coconut Twist and the others, and My Gift to You will win going right away by 5 or 6 lengths. My Gift to You, Coconut Twist, Method to the Magic.
Back in Novice Company, it should be competitive, but the horse that's favourite actually in it is a horse that there was a bit of a gamble on the last time after it was miles behind when Method to the Magic won Celestial Park. As you can see, it was way behind it, but it won then. So it's the bottom weight. So I think it's between the two of them, top and bottom weight. This one went up only £6, but of course the excuse would be that the wind surgery operation worked the oracle the last day, but the handbrake being off as well was a big help. So I think it's between the two of them. But I'm going for the top weight, Method to the Med. She had run in 3 point-to-points in Ireland. She only ran once in 2021 and 22, and it's sort of just learned, but she's only 8, and Finn Lampert knows her. At Kempton, there's an each-way bet, I thought, at the 7 o'clock. Oh, yeah, I was just looking at that race as well. Oisin Murphy and King Cabo likes the course. But there's a 2-mile race there on the Goo Mountain Road. You know, it's a good turn in Chelmsford a good few months ago. But it's only a 4-year-old, but I like when Simcock brings them back fairly fast, even though the race was over 2 mile. He won 2 in a row there in just this last year, September and November last year. We were on them both times on him. But he ran in a sort of good enough races, like there were class 2, class 3. Off there for a July, August, September, a couple of months. But if you look at him here, he wasn't trying too hard. He's in 5th place here as they come round the turn for home.
In third,
he's not too busy.
Now in 4th is World Without Love. In 5th position on the inside Mountain Road as they make the turn in, and they're still very tightly bunched. In behind the long-time leader, Brave Knight. Brave Knight leads the way to Circuit Breaker in 2nd place. In 3rd is Captain Kane. In 4th, World Without Love down the wide outside. Now Motterzen is beginning to lunge. Heathen down the wide outside still has a chance. They're racing now down towards the final furlong. Captain Kane now is challenging Circuit Breaker for the lead. World Without Love is back in 3rd and trying to close. Motterzen is in 4th. Circuit Breaker and Hector Crouch not for catching. Racing up towards the line. Circuit Breaker wins. Captain Kane held 2nd.
That was a sort of better class race, I thought. Better horses in it. And he's up against tomorrow night. Pontelius is in it. Broker Heart once helped us once as well, but at 11 to 2 there, you know, I thought that was an each way play, Mountain Road. In Fairyhouse tomorrow, All Lies Ahead has a good. The only thing about it is McCreary hasn't had a winner in a good while, but that has a few decent seconds. He's over 12 in the last 14 days, but it ran well enough in Roscommon. It won last year on heavy ground in. It won in May in Killarney, and then it won in April of 77 in Leopardstown. It was behind Earls in Cork. I see Earls is out Tuesday in pity him. Otherwise I'd go down if it wasn't. That's the reason I was off this week. I thought something like that might happen. but he ran in Roscommon.
That's him. He's trying to come home with a good run on the inside, getting a bit tight there though, and it's Hazalaya from All Lies Ahead. Your man there stays on with Plume Noir, racing close home. Hazalaya clinging on to win again here at Roscommon from All Lies Ahead.
Hazalaya is beating above average, I think. That is a chance. In the stall tomorrow, there's a horse there, Perk of Kings. If you look at it, you might have noticed there was a big gamble on it the other day and they took it out, and ground was the reason. I'd say it's what the wrong people had the money on. That's my reading of it. But the only decent race it ran it was first time out to Dr. Bravo. I was on Dr. Bravo that day, last December in Fairyhouse. It was sold straight away to JP. And look at it was bet by 64 lengths, 55 lengths, 46 lengths, 30 lengths and 41. It's given a rating of 97. And there was a big gamble, but it's 12s into 4s again tonight. So whether the right people have the gamble on, so some shrewdies know that there's a race in this, whether it's going to be tomorrow or not. There's only one man that knows that, I'd say. In the 505 in the stall, that big gamble that was pulled on anyway, the day we were on Guan Tide, wasn't it? It was up £18 for it. So we'll have to see, is it as good as they're saying it improved? That was the reason. Guan Tide and Guan Tide has won twice since, or definitely won once since anyway. So that's the crack. A few newcomers on the bus there. Dara Reardon, Duncan Dew 1, Dean 173, James Buckley and Kenny Robertson. You're all very welcome. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel and like the video and share it if you feel like it. Bash the bookies, over and out.